Since I was diagnosed with cancer last August, I've been slowly but surely detoxing things out of my life. It's been a long journey, but this video is all about some of the makeup that I'm using that is considered low tox. Here's what we're working with. 55 years old, almost 56, and this is the skin we're working with. There's some pigmentation issues, there's a little bit of laxity because I've lost about 11 kgs. I am wearing a slightly yellow tinged moisturiser, which I'll talk about in another video, that's all natural. I've been road testing. Everything that I'm sharing today I've bought myself. None of it's been sponsored, none of it's been given to me for free, so I bought everything. So let's get started. So KOSAS came up as one of the brands that was lower tox. It still has fragrance in them, but in the comments below I actually put down everything that is free from and why it's considered low tox. So we're starting with KOSAS Revealer Foundation, and I was matched on the site to 220 based on the current foundation I was using, which was Maybelline Fit Me, but this is too light, so I went and got a slightly darker shade, 260. Now these are neutral shades because I'm not too warm and I'm not too cool. I'm somewhere in the middle, so they're both neutral shades. So this is how much I'm using. I've literally done half a pump of the 220 and a full pump of the 260. I'm going to take a flat brush and I'm just going to work it into the brush. I used to use beauty blenders, but I don't use them anymore. I just feel like they put the makeup on and then take the makeup off at the same time. And yeah, there might be some really good ones out there, but I'm old school makeup artistry. I trained as a makeup artist many years ago, did it as a profession for a while, and then just left it because at the time I wasn't really paying as a freelance, and now with social media everything's changed, so it's very different. But anyway, here we are. I'm just patting it in. I don't like to swipe it because I feel like it doesn't give me the result that I'm looking for, so I'm literally gonna pat it in, and I'll give you a close-up in just a moment. I'm even going to take what's left on the brush and maybe a little bit more and put it on the eyes just to neutralize the eyes and make it a bit more seamless. Now what I like about KOSAS, it's high performing. I was really looking for a high performing brand that is like the other brands but doesn't have the same level of toxins in it. So there we are, and it actually looks like skin, which I love. I took what was left and just dragged it down slightly onto the neck, just to be seamless, because you saw that I had pigmentation. I haven't even put concealer on yet, so it's a really good coverage foundation. So I'm going to use the Revealer 3.8 neutral concealer. I don't actually feel like I need it, to be fair. The coverage is really good, but I'm just going to put it on to show you. And it probably is a little bit lighter than I would use, but we're going to go with it. Just going to go in and dab it in, and I'm using a Mirror foundation brush back from 2009. You don't actually need to keep buying new brushes if you actually look after them. And the brushes that were a bit more old school, like the old school MAC ones, Mirror, there was a lot of brushes that were made with wooden handles and natural bristles, and I really prefer them. The Real Techniques brushes are good, but they're synthetic, they're nylon, and I just want more natural things, so slowly I'll be replacing those out too. I'm just taking what's left on the brush back on the lid to keep on neutralising it. A contour with Ogee, which is another organic brand. It's more like makeup with skincare. It's pretty good. So I'm just going to do a little bit of contouring. Now the thing to note about this is really creamy. So it means that it basically is like skincare and makeup put together. So therefore it's been working really well during the colder months, but I don't know how it's going to sit in the warmer months because it's so creamy, but we'll test it out and see what happens. So I'm just creating a little bit of a halo around the face and just a little bit under the jaw. I am also doing fascia release on the face, so I'll report back on that to let you know how that's working out, because since I lost a lot of weight, my jowls have come down a little bit. I mean, it's not a bad jawline for someone who's 55 and who's done nothing with her face for absolutely months, but I will report back on that. So I'm just going to buff that in. Again, I'm not dragging. We're just kind of trying to keep the makeup in place and just buff it in. So it just creates this kind of warmth, almost like a halo. And you've noticed I've not put a lot of contour on. I've just kept it really simple and light. And I've just kind of put it a little bit higher. And you'll see it's got a nice, immediately, there's a chisel going on there because of where I placed it. We really don't need to be wearing a mask of makeup. But what I did realise was when I'm out and about, I really see how much makeup people are wearing. Yes, their skin looks amazing on social media. It looks really flawless, but in real life, it just looks plastered. So I like to keep this as natural as possible. And there's no judgment on that. It's whatever works for you. But I really feel like less is more when it comes to makeup. And when I trained in makeup in 2008, 2009, it was always about allowing the skin to shine out, really radiating its own essence without it looking like a mask. I'm going to do some brows with the KOSAS brow gel in dark brown. Now, this is probably a little bit dark for me, because as you can see, I'm having a grey grow out, and that might contrast with the brow gel. So I might need to go a bit lighter when I have my grey blend done at the end of the month, which I'm really excited about. So let's just slap that on, and I'm not being neat with it. I'm just kind of slapping it on. It covers the grey hairs, and I'm going to use a cotton bud just to tidy the lines up. So we're not like, it doesn't have to be too precise. Okay, that's where we're at. I'll do the other one and come back. So brows finished, and I'm not going to use eyeshadow. I have a whole eyeshadow palette, but I didn't want to put on too much product today. So what I'm going to use is Feathery by KOSAS again, and this is a set powder, slightly discoloured from my makeup. And I'm actually going to use it to set the concealer and the foundation, but without any eyeshadow. So this is going to be like my base. Now, I did this yesterday and it lasted beautifully. It was really nice. You can already see that it gives like a neutral base. So I'm just finishing off the other eye, and we're just kind of buffing it in, and I'm taking it right up to the brow bone, because there's something about a matte brow bone that just makes makeup look super clean. I'm going to go in the crease back with the bronzer that I used. So I'm just going to take my matte brush and just like lightly just brush it on and go into my crease. Just want it to look super natural. And again, I'm not going to be too neat with it. And because I've set this and then I put cream on top, I did this yesterday and it lasted all day. It just stayed in place, but it gives it a little bit of something because I've got quite hooded eyes. I've got the KOSAS gel eyeliner, Soul Gazer it's called, but I think the colour is Allure. And I'm literally going to put a very thin line on the lash line. I say very thin, we've ended up here, but it's very soft, it doesn't drag the skin, and it's very malleable. So I've just put it on really roughly and then used a Q-tip just to neaten up the flick on the end. So there we go. The next step is mascara. I've got RMS straight up mascara. It's got peptides and all sorts in it. Now, every time I get a mascara, it's really runny. Now, I have barely any eyelashes, and I'm using castor oil on them, which is working, but it's taking its time. And don't forget, I'm post chemo, so my eyelashes are still recovering as well. So I'm going to show you what one coat looks like, but what I've learned with this is to put one coat on, let it dry completely, and then go on and put a second coat on, because one coat looks like it's barely there. The brush is really lovely, really thick. That's one coat. And whilst it's picked up the lashes, it is barely there. So because my lashes are so small, I literally pull it up this way to grab all the baby lashes. I'm just going to do the other side and show you. There's one coat, and I'm going to let that dry completely before I put on another coat. So we're going to go in with Ogee's blush, and this is in Rose Quartz, and I'm just going to keep this super high. Now these are on a stick, and I've seen a lot of people go straight on, but it drags makeup off. I don't like it, so I just pat it in, and we're super high above where we did the contour. This is an old school brush from MAC from 2008, natural bristle, wooden handle, and all. When I was in makeup school, I had to paint stripes on the end of my brushes so that we could distinguish which ones were ours. So yeah, they still have that, and these brushes wash up really nice. Here we go. Okay, that is coat 2, which is much better. But I had to take my time with it. And what I mean by picking up lashes with a vertical brush is the inner lashes are very sparse. Actually, a lot of them are very sparse. So I just pick it up and keep doing that, and then I get more lashes. And for this second coat, I haven't gone root to tip. I've just focused mid-lengths up to get the thickness on it. So let me do the other side and I'll be back. So I always find with whatever mascara I have, it's normally really thin at the beginning, and a week in is the perfect consistency to get all the lashes, and I spend less time on them, and I get a better defined lash like a week in. So this mascara is only like 3 or 4 days in. So let's get on to lips. I have a little lip balm on at the moment, but let's get into this. This is Ilia's Banquet, and it's a lip pencil, but it's quite creamy. It's not drying at all. So I'm just gonna, let's see if I can do it here. Just outline, and it's a really lovely colour for my skin. The colour range is really good. Just going to press it in and keep it super light. And I'm going to slightly overdraw there because I don't have filler in my face. I don't have Botox, like everything moves. There's nothing in my face. And whilst I'd love more plump lips, I don't have them. So we cheat. I'm going to top it off with Ogee's lip gloss. And this is, let me check, the Thistle. Okay. Just going to put a bit in the centre. Now this lip gloss, it's not sticky. It's like an oil. It's really nice. The staying power, average. It doesn't really stay, but it's a cross between a gloss and an oil, and it's really thick and it's really hydrating. It's really nice on top of the lip pencil. Finished look, I actually think it looks very natural. Still, you can see my skin through it. It's not like a mask. And close up, hopefully you can see that it doesn't look like it's sitting in pores. Now I have wrinkles under my eyes, so it actually doesn't look bad. I used to use Hourglass and Huda concealer, and that used to really sit in the creases. Now, because this is liquid and cream, the durability on it is really good. Now, some makeup artists will put powder on top to set everything, like in the same colour, or to enhance it. I don't bother with that. Like, you know, I'm busy. I don't have time to do that much stuff. But I will use the setting powder on a fluffy brush, maybe just to take some of the shine away, because I have a really shiny T-zone, just to mattify it. And I'm only literally doing a little bit. That's the face done. Got any questions? Let me know. Let me know if you're in your 40s and 50s, postmenopausal skin, or even post-cancer, how you're doing with your makeup. And if there's anything I can answer, do let me know.